What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to a new video. If this is your first time here on the channel, thanks so much for stopping by. Definitely check out some of my other videos, and if you like what you see, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. So, I'm here today to talk about my top 10 plus one Nintendo Switch games. Considering how much I do love the Nintendo Switch, it's crazy to think that I've never actually sat down and done a top 10s video, right? It took me a while to sit and think about the games that I honestly and truly loved. And it was hard, not because there aren't any games on the Switch, but because there are so many great games. I've had so many great experiences on that little handheld. I consider it a handheld, but I've had so many great experiences with the Nintendo Switch. I definitely wanted to make sure that this video, these top 10 plus one games represented, you know, the whole 7 years that I have spent with the system. All right, so let's start off. Top 10 games plus one for the Nintendo Switch. This is essentially number 11, or the bonus game. It's Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. Monster Boy is a 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania of sorts, and it's a really good one of those. Now, what I love about this game is, while it is a Metroidvania, it kind of takes a different approach to the genre, right? So it allows you to, you start off playing as a protagonist who is kind of like a teenager, and you will come across different creatures, if you will, and you're able to transform into those creatures. And that's where kind of like the Metroidvania aspect comes into the game, because while you're out exploring, of course, you're beating up on baddies and you're platforming. But if you transform into these creatures, you have different abilities that you can use at your disposal. The gameplay is super smooth. It's amazing. It all flows together really well. The combat is on point. Platforming is on point as well. It's a beautiful, gorgeous looking game. Look, I almost want to say that it's hand drawn. I'm not quite sure, but I feel like it is. And also, the music is stellar soundtrack that I absolutely love. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, definitely. I mean, like I said, I was playing Metroidvanias before, but it definitely sparked my love for the genre. Honestly did. Like, I love Metroidvanias now, and this is definitely the reason why. All right, number 10, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Now, I love me some Animal Crossing. That series has always been what I've needed when I've needed it, if you feel what I'm saying. Animal Crossing New Horizons, though, isn't my favorite Animal Crossing game in this series. It definitely isn't. But it's a really good Animal Crossing game. I hate to take a ride back to March of 2020, but I'm sure all of you remember, and I'm sure all of you felt the same way when the pandemic hit and there was all of this uncertainty and we didn't know what was going on, right? A lot of us were scared, or at least I can say for myself, I was scared. I had no clue what was going to happen, or even what was happening, right? And I'm not going to lie. Animal Crossing New Horizons got myself, along with many of you, through that tough time. New Horizons definitely, you know, takes the core concept of Animal Crossing, but then like flips it and reverses it just a little bit, you know, to just switch things up just enough so that you're like, ooh, I'm hooked. You know, like I wasn't quite sure how I was gonna like the fact that the tools, you know, break on you, right? I don't typically like that in any video game, and I definitely didn't want it in Animal Crossing. And while it is a little annoying, I got used to it and I got over it really fast because it wasn't really even a big deal. This is really the only Animal Crossing game where I got really into the turn up aspect of the game, and I was going deep trying to get as many bells as I possibly could throughout the week for those darn turn-ups. Like, and it was really cool because there was a lot of social aspect to it as well. I met some really cool people online through Twitter and on YouTube and stuff, all revolving around Animal Crossing New Horizons. So yeah, I mean, there's always that. I love going out and taking that flight, buying a ticket and taking a flight to go visit another friend online, or even going to the island to try to recruit villagers, right? That was fun as well. I'm dying to see what the next Animal Crossing has in store for us on whatever system it may come out on in the near future, hopefully, fingers crossed. But in the meantime, Animal Crossing, New Horizons, definitely one of my favorite games on the Nintendo Switch, because honestly, when I think about 2020, not only do I think of the pandemic, but I also think about New Horizons. Number 9 goes to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This is a fantastic JRPG, and one of the things that I love about the series, let alone this game in general, is definitely the world building. I mean, it is a massive world. I definitely was obsessed with trying to uncover the entire map for this game. The game is huge. It's humongous. The world is big. And I just became obsessed with trying to go everywhere that I possibly could and kind of like uncover that map and see everything that the game has to offer. You have these sprawling environments with so much depth. And then, you know, of course, there are baddies all over the place, right? So you're always getting into some type of fight. And that's another thing that I loved about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is the combat. I thought they added some great things in there, and definitely had me hooked. The combat did take me a while just to get a grasp on, just because of the whole like interlinking. I think it was called interlinking, how you could like team up with another one of the characters and interlink your abilities. And then there were also classes in this game, which was something different. So it took me a while to kind of get the gist of it. But once I did, that was it. I also love the narrative in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 as well. I never thought that I would enjoy a Xenoblade Chronicles game as much as I did the first one, and that was because of the combination of like the cast of characters. I love those characters in the first Xenoblade game, but this one definitely does the first one. It outdoes the first one with the characters and the narrative. Now, I haven't had a chance to play the DLC, and that's crazy, right? Considering how much I love the game, I haven't touched the DLC, and I definitely will do that. But this is by far one of the best JRPGs that you could play on the Nintendo Switch. Number 8 goes to Stardew Valley. I am definitely in my Stardew era right now. I'm whenever I can, guys, trust me, I'm out there Stardewing. When it comes to a cozy game, Stardew Valley has everything that I'm looking for. It gives off a sense of progression for me that makes it hard for me to put the controller down or put my Nintendo Switch down and stop playing. It honestly does. Like, I like working towards my next goal. And honestly, that's all Stardew Valley is about. It's such a joy to play. Every time I play the game, it's just ultimate chill mode for me. I'm super chill, calm, cool, and collected, not thinking about anything else, just thinking about what I can do next to improve my farm, Stankonia. Yes, my farm's name is Stankonia. Can you tell I like Outcast? Not to mention, there's also some additional stuff in this Switch version, just because, the developer went ahead and added a rather beefy patch to the game a couple years ago, and I never experienced that. So this is a brand new experience for me. I'm currently trying to build up the community or get done with everything in the community center and revitalize that. But Stardew Valley is just so much fun to play. It has its hooks on me, and I'm looking forward to the next patch. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it comes out soon on the Switch. And when it does, definitely gonna be ready. Number 7 goes to Dragon Quest XI-S, Echoes of an Elusive Age, the definitive edition. Of course, the game originally came out on the PlayStation 4, but this is one of those rare instances where the Switch version of the game is by far the best version of play. At least at the time it was, right? From the moment you start playing the game, or at least for me, the moment I started playing the game, the story just took off running and I was invested in the entire narrative. This is another game where the cast of characters is by far one of the best things ever. I love the characters in Dragon Quest XI. There's a whole lot to love about Dragon Quest XI besides the characters and the great story. The music is phenomenal as well. The music is great in Dragon Quest XI. Some really memorable tracks for sure. Another thing that I absolutely love about Dragon Quest XI is definitely the voice acting. I love the accents. Voice acting is on point. Now I know some people might not care for the voice acting in Dragon Quest XI, but I absolutely love it. Overall, Dragon Quest XI just felt like such an adventure that I was a part of. You know, I didn't feel like I was playing the game. I actually, and that sounds a little crazy, but I actually felt like I was a part of this entire adventure. I've spent over 100 hours with the game and I don't regret it at all. Like I said, definitely one of my favorite games ever. Great stuff. Number 6 goes to Metroid Dread. At its core, Metroid Dread is another, Metroid game, 2D Metroid game, and it's a really good one of those. But if I have to be honest, Metroid Dread, without a doubt, felt like a horror game for me, and I loved it. Of course, Samus is back doing her whole bounty hunter thing, trying to get rid of this Metroid threat, this new planet. And I've never been one that's really been into like the narrative behind Metroid because, why? But I gotta say, I really enjoyed what Metroid Dread was throwing out narrative-wise. But the main reason I love Metroid Dread so much is because of the entire experience. Like I said, I know Metroid Dread is a Metroid game at the end of the day, but it literally had me feeling like I was playing a horror game. And that's because they added a new enemy, and they're called Emmys. And they're basically these huge, powerful, like robots. And Metroid Dread kind of switches things up a little bit and adds a stealth mechanic to the game, right? So if you come in contact with like these Emmy zones, you have to be stealthy or else that robot's gonna chase you. It was that whole combination of like the stealth and the environment, how like creepy the environments felt and how dark it was, that just gave me a sense of doom or dread, shall I say, every time I played it. The gameplay and the exploration and the soundtrack are all things that you definitely would expect from a 2D Metroid game. Fantastic. There's some really good creature designs in the game as well, and also the level design, right? The level design is really good. I just love Metroid Dread. I honestly do. Like I said, Metroidvanias have definitely become one of my favorite genres when it comes to video games, and this is one of the best out there. Number 5, it's gotta be Tetris 99. I believe that Tetris 99 was released in 2019. And I believe at the time, and they still kind of are, battle royales were popping. And I'm not really one to play, battle royale type of games, but when you add Tetris into the mix of anything, I'm here for it. Now, I previously talked about why Tetris was a game that was close to my heart. If you didn't get a chance to see that video, definitely check it out. But yeah, Tetris is one of my favorite video games of all time. Easy. This particular game takes the concept of Tetris, right? And they add that whole battle royale vibe to it, which has you playing against 98 other players online. And you're battling it out basically to see who's going to be the winner. And strategy is definitely needed to win. To come in first place in Tetris 99, you definitely need a whole lot of strategy. I do remember there was some controversy surrounding the fact that, this was a Tetris game that you could only play online. For some reason, that made people upset. So they went ahead and added a DLC pack that allowed you to play some additional gameplay modes. And of course, traditional marathon mode was added there, and that just amped it up for me because then I was playing a bunch of Tetris online and offline. I just love the fact that I'm able to play one of my favorite games of all time online against other people. That's so dope, right? And it's not a shooter. I think that's so dope, the fact that I can challenge myself to become good at a game like Tetris 99. I do love the fact that Tetris 99 has this Maximus Cup, which basically whenever like a first party Nintendo game comes out, you know, you could play Tetris 99 online and get 100 points so that you can receive a new theme. Right now, currently, the Maximus Cup is all themed around Princess Peach Showtime. So if you get 99 points, you know, you can redeem a Princess Peach Showtime theme for Tetris 99, and that's fun stuff. Number 4, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't really think there's much to say about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, especially when you take into account that the game is 10 years, or if not more than 10 years old. At least that core game is, since it was first released on the Nintendo Wii U. But what I will say about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the fact that I honestly believe that this is the best Mario Kart ever. And that's because of not only the way that the game controls and plays, the gameplay is spot on. Perfection when it comes to kart racing, right? Mario Kart games have always been, but for me, the addition of the gravity, you got the gravity kart, you got underwater stuff, all of that makes this the best Mario Kart game for me, right? So you have the way that it plays, one of the reasons why it makes it the best Mario Kart game, and then the other reason is the sheer amount of content added to this game is utterly ridiculous. At this point, I couldn't even tell you how many tracks are included in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because they put out that booster pack, which included, I think it was like an additional 48 levels. Now, in all fairness, they're all not brand new levels. They're taken from other Mario Kart games throughout the years. But you put those on top of the courses that were already included in the base game, crazy. And there's also new characters that were included in that booster pack as well. If I feel like playing online, it's so easy for me to hop in, go online, and just play with randoms because people are always playing Mario Kart 8 online. You can always find a match. I feel like we were spoiled a bit with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And it has me honestly thinking about what's next for the series. Like, what can they possibly do to top this game? Who knows? But hopefully we'll find out soon. Number 3 goes to Dead Cells. Dead Cells is definitely the game that got me into this whole genre of like roguelites and roguelikes. Dead Cell is a roguelike because there is permadeath. See, I'm learning, you guys. I am learning. But I like this genre in general because of Dead Cells. So the premise of Dead Cells is pretty simple. You start off playing as a character who is trying to escape like this dilapidated, first you start off in a prison, but you're trying to escape this dilapidated island of sorts. The game is dark. It's a dark looking game. Of course, you're hacking and slashing baddies. There's a lot of platforming involved, but it's just a combination of the platforming and the swift combat and the amazing animation. I don't think I've played another video game on the Nintendo Switch that has animation as good as Dead Cells. I mean, it's unmatched. Now, while this is a roguelike, it's also a Metroidvania, y'all. So 2 things in one. And I love it. You know, you'll come across, you have different decisions, different options, pathways, if you will, to go in order to get off of this island. And that choice is all up to you and which way you want to go. Of course, while you're also playing the game, you'll also have more decisions to make, which items you want to pick up and which items you want to get rid of, you know, how you want to level your character up. All that plays a factor in you being successful in Dead Cells. Developers put out these updates, and a lot of the updates for the game and DLC was free, right? And they added a level or so. And I was just hooked on the game. Like, I don't know another way to describe it besides the fact that I was hooked. That permadeath, that whole permadeath system almost is rewarding in a way. It feels rewarding. Like when I would die, I wasn't so frustrated with the fact that I was dying because I knew that I was getting better every time that I played the game. This game has some really good bosses that can be annoying, but I really do like the boss battles in this game. Some people might think it's a little crazy that I have Dead Cells so close to #1 on my top 10 plus one Switch games. But you know, I gotta give credit where it's due. And I spent a lot of time with this game and loved every minute of it, despite me being terrible at it. I stuck through, and it's a hell of a game. We're almost at #1, guys. Before we get there though, #2 goes to Super Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey is the best 3D Mario game out there, bar none. I mean, honestly, this is the best, cream of the crop when it comes to 3D platformers. Super Mario Odyssey felt fresh, despite it having the same, the same get up where Bowser is basically kidnapping Peach, trying to marry her and everything, and you're trying to save the princess. But even with that, it still felt like a brand new, fresh Mario experience. Love the presentation in Super Mario Odyssey. I mean, come on, right? Music is great. New Donk City I want to go visit New Donk City. How am I gonna get there? But what are we doing? Why can't we go? I need to know. Where is New Donk City? Because I want to go. I love the addition of Cappy. Being able to have Cappy with you throughout the entire game, and basically using his ability of like letting Mario or Cappy capture an enemy and then letting Mario use that enemy's ability. Dope. I love that. Honestly, I think Cappy is one of the reasons why I love this game so much. It just adds a different, spin on the game. You have that ability with Cappy, right? That adds to the gameplay. I mean, the gameplay already is top notch, like as far as the controls go. It feels good to play, very precise as it should be. But having Cappy there, it totally makes it go up a notch just for that alone. Super Mario Odyssey it just puts a smile on my face. It honestly does. Like, me sitting here talking about it makes me want to literally go back and start the game over again. Because I never did like the dark side. I never did the dark side. And then I even think there's a darker side that I never did. So if you guys are interested, and maybe I'll stream that. And some Super Mario, going back, revisiting Super Mario Odyssey, I'm down for it. Because like I said, me sitting here and just thinking about how much I love the game makes me realize, you know what, Steph, you need to play this again. My #1 game for the Nintendo Switch is The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I kind of went back and forth. This one was tough for me. I kind of went back and forth. I didn't know if I wanted to have Breath of the Wild as my #1 or Tears of the Kingdom as my #1. Breath of the Wild just totally switched things up. The whole series, the whole Zelda series, was totally left field. And at first I didn't catch on with Breath of the Wild, but once I did, wow. And, also, I'm someone that enjoys open world games. So Breath of the Wild was a true treat. But I really do believe that Tears of the Kingdom took the whole concept of Breath of the Wild and just totally was like, all right, this is what you're really going to get. It's like you have everything that you have in Breath of the Wild, but the Ultra Hand, the inclusion of the Ultra Hand alone makes this one of the best games really on the system. Now, I'm one that enjoys exploration in video games. I mean, you've heard me say it, if not in any of my other videos, definitely in this video alone. I love exploring in video games. And I think that Tears of the Kingdom is perfect for that. It's this big open world, environment that you can explore 3 different places. The main level, you got your dungeon, the depths, you can go into the depths, and then you have the sky. So there's 3 different areas, huge areas that you can explore. You also have, like I said, you also have your Ultra Hand, right? Where you have the ability to like fuse things together, so you can create weapons on the fly. And it's just like that whole tinkering mechanic was, because I'm not a tinkerer. I'm not one to tinker around with things. As far as building stuff in video games go, Minecraft, stuff like that, I'm not really into that. But I sure did love it in Tears of the Kingdom. I honestly did. Building carts, and vehicles and boats and all types of things was just so much fun. So much fun with things that you find out in the wild. It's crazy. I just like the overall narrative of Tears of the Kingdom. I got a little teary-eyed when playing it. There were some parts that it was kind of like, oh, okay, we're doing this. And that's all I really have to say about Tears of the Kingdom. It's fantastic. It's a game that I spent well over 100 hours in. I streamed some of it. I stayed up way later than what I should have to play it at night, and knowing that I had to go to work in the morning, early in the morning. I mean, it's one of those games that just totally captivated me and, made me lose track of everything else that was going on in my life. And for that, it deserves its #1 spot. So those are my top 10 +1 games on the Nintendo Switch. I can easily say that the Nintendo Switch is, like my favorite console of all time. It honestly is. It's definitely the console that I've collected the most games for. That's for sure. So guys, let me know your top 10 games for the Nintendo Switch in the comment box below, or do a video response, whatever you want to do. But I'm always looking to hear what people have to say and what people's favorite games are on the Nintendo Switch. As always, I want to thank all of you for watching this video, and I'll check you next time. Peace.